Birshut Kala Kadosh, everybody welcome, everyone welcome. Be'ezrat Hashem, Barachat Tzlacha, Yaakov ben Asher, Kirill Daniel ben Michoel, שהקדוש ברוך הוא תשפיע לכם איכות של חסד, ברכה, הצלחה, בריאות, שיהיה הרבה נחת מילדים בעזרת השם, פרנסה טובה, יגדיל תורה וידירה, וכן יהי רצון ונאמר אמן. 1000 הבדלות בין המתים לחיים, לעילוי נשמת רומא רחמים בן מזל. רוח השם תנחנו בגן עדן הוא וכל השוכבים, כמו בכלל רחמים והצליחות, וכן יהי רצון ונאמר אמן. Over here it says, גם לעילוי נשמת רבקה בת מזל. רוח השם תנחנו בגן עדן, היא וכל השוכבים עמה בכלל רחמים והצליחות, וכן יהי רצון ונאמר אמן. We continue with Pirkei Avot, Perek, chapter 4, Mishnah Hey. Rabbi Ishmael says, Halomed almanat lilamed. A person learns Torah. We're going to get to the details. The main important thing is to learn, then to teach others. Maspekim be'edo lilmod lamed. If a person already know and knowledgeable enough, he needs to teach others. V'halomed almanat la'asot. The whole point of learning, so we're able to perform, to do. Maspekim be'edo lilmod ulamed. A person able to perform, to do. He's able to learn, he's able to teach others. Lishmor v'la'asot, you need to keep and to do. Again, it says, Rabbi Tzadok omer, al ta'aseh atara ligadel bahem. A person should not make his Torah as a crown to him, as a keter, that he's able to make himself to be on top of the people. V'lo kardom lachfor bahem. It's not like an ox, you take an ox, and you start digging the hole. A person, chas v'shalom, we're going to get to the details, if he's going to use in a Torah against whatever that he needs to use. Somebody having a pleasure, enjoyment from divrei Torah, notel chayav min ha'olam, he will be die chas v'shalom in a short life. Which is, we're going to talk about it. Rabbi Ishmael says, we need to learn, then we learn, we need to teach to others, then we able to teach to others, we need to perform. כתב רבנו יונה לומד על מנת ללמד, אין דבר זה בלומד על מנת ללמד ולא לעשות. The whole point, Rabbi Ishmael says, a lot of people have to learn, but they don't perform whatever they learn, which means they don't act upon it. So it says over here, שזה אין מספיק בידו. If a person learns and teach others, but he does the mitzvot that Hashem commanded. ולא למד, ללמוד ולא למד. He cannot learn and he cannot teach. אלא בלומד שאינו טורח הרבה בעיון ואולי ימצא איסור בדברים נהוגה בהם היתר. So a person needs to learn in order for him to understand what he needs to do, what's right and what's wrong. אלא לוקח דברים כפשוטם. Sometimes he understands simply, that's what it says in the Torah, or that's what it says in the Gemara. לכן לא מספיקים בידו אלא כפי מחשבתו. The Chazal says he only understands according to his knowledge. That's why in the beginning of Pirkei Avot it says, Taseh lecha Rav, we should have a Rebbe, stalek min ha-safek, that have whatever the safek, whatever the doubt that we have to take this out of ourselves through the rabbi. Halomed dvarim she'einam nohagim lema'aseh. What if a person learning things that does not have in our times, he really not actualized because we don't have the Bet HaMikdash. Kagon shelomed beseder kodshim v'tahara. He learns about the Bet HaMikdash. Says we don't have the Bet HaMikdash. Okay? She'eino nohagim bazman hazeh, o tahor v'tameh, pure, impure. Halomed she'er charifut v'shakla v'tareh. But he makes his brain to be charifut, which just means he sharpens his brain. Mazniach haseder zra'im oadim nashim nezikim. But a person needs to learn that have to do something halacha lemaaseh, which just means to do the halacha, to perform the halacha. Shem halacha lemaaseh. And that she must begin by yado lilmod. A person learns certain masechet barachot, masechet nida, masechet shabbat, masechet iruvin. All these masechtot, masechet chagiga, some of them, masechet ta'anit, some of the masechtot, you're able to do halacha maaseh, which is nezikin, baba patra, baba kam, baba matzia. אבל לומד על מנת לעשות, a person, the whole point of learning to do. הוא מי שטרח הרבה בעיון ולדעת הלכה למעשה. For a person learning to understand the halacha, how's the halacha, is able to come at the end of his learning by halacha. כדי להוראות בישראל, he able to tell the halacha to Am Israel, to be able to teach to Am Israel the halacha. So a person says, we have a pilpul, we understand what the pilpul is, but there's no halacha because he cannot apply it. The reason he's trying to get the bottom line of the Torah, the truth, in order for him to get to the truth of what is the essence of the learning. A person needs to know also that he's going to learn in order for him to be able to perform. A person says, I'm going to learn shacharit, I'm not going to daven. I'm going to learn mincha, I'm going to later on, I'm going to do it. Aravit, I'm going to do later on. Tefillin, tzitzit, mezuzah, I'm going to do. Shabbat is later on. I'm going to learn. Yoreh, yadin, yadin. A person needs to know. Yoreh daya, Choshen Mishpat, Even Ezer, and so on, and Orach Chaim, of course, that's one of the first in the Shulchan Aruch. Gemara Masechet Makot. Masechet Makot says following in page 10. Amar Rabbi Elazar min haTorah, min haNeviim, min haKtuvim, bederech adam rotze lelech molechim oto. He says, from the Torah, it says, Rabbi Elazar says in Masechet Makot, from the Torah, from the Nevi'im, from the prophets, from the Ktuvim, from the writings, it says the path of the person wants to go, molechim oto. They're going to guide him. Shenemar lo tilech imachem. Like it says Bamidbar, the Bilam Hashem says, do not go with the Balak. Kativ im likro lecha ba anashim kum lach atem. Min haNevi'im, from the prophets, Isaiah 48:17. Ani Hashem ilamdecha lo'il b'drachecha b'derech tilech. Hashem says in a prophet, Isaiah 48:17, the person, the path he wants to go, Hashem is going to guide him. A person wants to go to the Yetzer HaTov, Hashem is going to guide him. A person wants to Chas v'Shalom go to Yetzer Hara, he's going to get guidance. Ktuvim, what about from writings? Mishle, Shenemar, Im le'latzim hu yalitz. If a person is a scarper, he makes fun and he makes jokes, that's what he's going to end up with. A joker is a joker. A serious, not serious is not serious. Somebody is a Talmid Chacham, he's going to be all the time with the Talmidei Chachamim. Hen amru Masechet Shabbat. That's what it says, Masechet Shabbat in page 104. Aval itayer mesa'ayin oto. Somebody comes, wants to be purifying himself from heavens, they're going to give him a help. And the heavens is the ambulance, it's going to give him a help. V'nemar Dvarim, in Sefer Dvarim in Hey Aleph, in chapter 5, Pasuk Aleph says, Lamatem otam ushmartem la'asotam. Once you learn, now you need to perform and you need to keep. Katuv ha'gaon natziv ba'emek hadavar, shelo dai shiur nizkarim b'levavechem. It's not enough a person learn, it's only in his heart. Okay? Ela lamdu kedei la'asotam. The whole thing we're learning in order we're able to come to perform the mitzvot of Hashem. Zeh ekar drusha limod al manad la'asot. That's what the Pirkei Avot says. To learn in order for us to perform. What if a person learn and able to perform and do? Now he needs to teach to others how to do it. A person every day he needs to learn something chidush, something new. We're learning in order for us to go up and higher in the sulam, in the ladder, towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu, cling to him. A person, the path that he wants to go, the Shamayim, in Masechet Shabbat 104, from Shamayim is going to guide him. וכן, עוד ברחיב הדבר מה שאמרו על מנת לעשות, דהיינו לחדש הלכה על ידי עומק עיון לפי כלל הרעה. A person needs to also learn the halacha, and he says over here that we also need to come to the essence of the halacha, how the halacha works, how the law works, how's the performance of the law. Halomed al manad lilmod. So a person learns in order for him to teach to others. בוודאי שתורתו קודמת לכל. So a person learns. Of course, over here the Chamavadia says that his Torah becomes first. What does it mean? Chazal says, can a person take out of his time? We're going to see. If he learns all the time, can he take out of his time to teach to others? Okay. Sherei Masechet Kiddushin, it says, in Masechet Kiddushin, page 29, Amud Bet, Tanu Rabbanan, our sages say, Lelmed beno, hu lelamed ubeno lilmod. Hu kodem lebeno. He's learning and his son is learning. Who comes first, him or his son? Him. The Chazal says him, not his son. ואין פסק רמב"ם. That's the way the halacha in the רמב"ם. הלכה, תלמוד תורה, הלכה ד'. אם בן היה בנו נבון משכיל להבין מה שילמוד יותר ממנו. The Rambam says that if somebody, the son is much wiser and understand more than the father, then the son becomes first before the father learning Torah. Aben HaKodem. So a person first needs to learn himself. We all the time says, what about my kid? What about my kid? What about himself first? If the kid is understand much better than the father, of course he becomes first before the father. But if the father understands more than the kid, is more harif, more understand, you're going to say, older guys, they understand more than the younger guys. That's so true, because I know a lot of young kids, a lot of young teenagers would understand much better whatever the older generation would understand, because their brains are not used to thinking the Torah way. וכן שכן שאין צריך לבטל מידתו כדי ללמוד אחרים. Chazal says you don't need to nullify your Torah to teach to others. הן כתב שאלות תשובות אגרות משה, חלק ד', רב משה פיינשטיין says following, חלק אבן עזר סימן כ"ו. זה לא מה שכתב חתם סופר, אמר רבי עקיבא ואהבת לרעך כמוך. חתם סופר says, Rav Moshe Feinstein says you don't need to nullify your Torah to teach to others. But Chatam Sofer says, ואהבת לרעך כמוך. You should love yourself like you love your friend. זה כלל גדול בתורה. This is a general rule of the Torah. דהיינו, the Torah מצוות דווקא. ואהבת לרעך כמוך, which is means in the Torah and the מצוות. בענייני העולם הזה, די דרש רבי עקיבא וכאחיך עמך. בבא מציעא it says, if a person's life, whose life comes first, the person or his friend? Him. Baba Metzia in page 62 says first him. He needs to save his life before he saves others. From here they learn that you need to learn, you come first than anybody else in the world. חייך קודמים לחיי חבריך. Rabbi Akiva says your life become first before your friend. משמע בתורה מצוות לא אמרינן חייך קודמים. What about Torah or mitzvot? What do we do? זה אינו. אתה מוכיח במסכת קידושין, מסכת קידושין, page 29, עמוד ב' says, יש להעיד כל מה כתוב מרן חביב, בשעירי כנסת הגדולה, מידי אני עלי שעריתי לאדוני אבי, שעלה בדמים, לולב אחד אשר קנו גביר אחד למעלת, חסדית רבי דוד הכהן. So they had a מחלוקת to lulav to buy in the highest price that is in the market. אדוני אביו להוסיף על דמים וקנו לעצמו. He says, my father, he bought the lulav, he paid so much money for the lulav. יש אומרה שלא היה ראוי לעלות בדמים. But the Chazal says you should not make overpayment. What does it mean, overpayment? אותו לולב קנה עבור הרב חסיד, נזכר, אשיב להם אדוני אביו, אמנם רב חסיד גדול כבודו, אמנם במצוות השם אין חולקים כבוד לרב. He says if the rabbi wants to buy it, and you wanted to buy it, and you have more money than a rabbi, you need to buy it for yourself. When it comes to the mitzvot, you need to buy it for yourself. שיותר קרוב אדם אצלו עצם לעשות מצווה הקדוש ברוך הוא. A person is much closer to himself to do mitzvah of הקדוש ברוך הוא, whatever commands him. מכל אשר אדם, his comes first to mitzvot. שופכו חכמים על תשובת הזאת. Chachamim praiseworthy that person that took the money and he did the mitzvah himself. נמצא גם מצוות מערימנן חייכם קודמים. That's why the mitzvot, your life becomes before than anybody else's life. עיין מרן חידה בספר פני דוד, פרשה בשלח עוד י'. מרן חידה says following. דאמרין הפרק כמה בסוטה. מסכת סוטה in page 13, מרן חידה brings, עמוד ב', second page. על מה שאמרו משה נתעסק במצוות עצמותיו של יוסף. As we learn it, מסכת סוטה, it says why Moshe Rabbeinu went and look, and everybody was searching for gold and diamonds. Bizat Ayam, Bizat Mitzrayim. The Egyptian got disrespected by giving themselves is the gold and the diamonds, because Hashem promised to Avraham Avinu, Barichush Gadol, we're going to come out with a lot of wealth. Okay? So why did Moshe Rabbeinu himself went and searching for Yosef HaTzadik bones? Ve'lo askik ba Moshe, lo ma'im askik ba Israel. He says, what if Moshe Rabbeinu was taking over the Yosef grave and bringing to Eretz Israel, which is through the Jewish people, through Yoshua ben Nun and Jewish people would not do it. אלא אמרו, אני הכבודו הגדולים יותר מקטנים. The Chazal says when somebody is a great person like Moshe Rabbeinu does, it's not the same thing like a little people would do. What does it mean? Somebody, Moshe Rabbeinu, had a big kavod, respect. So by his doing to the Yosef HaTzadik, he's giving a lot of respect to Yosef. ועקרו מפרשים לפני זה כיוון משה ענב היה, למה לא כיבד את הארון במצווה הזאת? He says Moshe is very humble. What he becomes humble? What makes the Moshe Rabbeinu humble? He takes the bones of Yosef HaTzadik himself, and he carries on, and he gives to the Yoshua. Yoshua brings to the Eretz Israel. תירוץ חידה פני כנסת גדולה, מצוות השם אין חולקים כבוד לרב. When he says מצוות Hashem, we need to do it ourselves. שיותר קרוב אדם אצלו עצמו. A person is close to himself. He loves himself more than anybody. ככה נעמי אב משה היה ענב מאוד. Moshe Rabbeinu was very humble. מכל הכל לבטל מצווה לא ישגח בענווה. When he comes to nullify the mitzvah and do it himself, he does not care about the anava of the humble. So we say sometimes humble, bachovod, right? That's not called humble. You need to do it yourself, okay? Sometimes some people buy aliyot for rabbanim. It's no problem. It's no problem buying aliyot. When we're coming the mitzvah as a guf, which just means, like we said it before, he needs to do it before himself. So we said it, Masechet Eruvin, we're going to bring another example. In page 54, Amud Bet, says following, Iti Rav Preda hayalo talmid shaya shoneh lo mishnato b'chol yom 400 pa'amim. Rav Preda used to teach to his Talmud 400 times Mishnayot every day. Every day. Rak haya lomed Mishnah. Every day he used to learn Mishnah with his Talmud. Yom echad ba'ol Rav Preda, v'izminu lidvar mitzvah. One day Rav Preda came in, and they invited Rav Preda to the mitzvah. V'shana talmidav keragil, he said to his student, I'm going soon to the mitzvah. He did the whole thing 400 times to his student, the Mishnah. Ach lo levin, the student did not understand Rav Preda, what he wants from him. Rav Preda says after 400 times, do you understand the Mishnah that I just teach you? He says, no, Rabbi, no. Mipnei ma havanta hayom. Why he did not understand the Mishnah, Rav Preda is asking. Amor lo mashal she'amra lechvodo shehu mizamen devar mitzvah. He says, when you told me that they invited me for the part of the mitzvah, my head was part of the mitzvah, was not part of the Mishnayot. So what Rav Preda said? The student says, my concentration was in your mitzvah that you wanted to go. My concentration was not in a Mishnah that you were teaching. סרתי דעתי, לכן לא הבנתי. אמר רבי פרדה, תן דעתך ללמוד מחדש. Rav Preda says, you're going to learn from beginning 400 times. כי לא אצלך שתלמד תבין שבמשנה. Rav Preda says, I'm not moving from you until you understand the Mishnah 400 times. שנה לו עוד 400 פעם. He again explained to a Mishnah 400 times. יוצא בת קול ואמרו, הגידה נא לנו, מה שכרך? The heavenly voice comes out to Rav Preda. He says, what do you want the reward that you did? You broke yourself, part of your nature. If you want, to Rav Preda, they say, we're going to give you 400 years on top of how many years you're living now. Oh, he says, your whole generation should have share in the world to come. Which one do you choose? Rav Preda says, I'm choosing my whole generation to have 400 years. No, my whole generation should have share in the world to come. Olam haba. Him. All the Jewish people that live in his time, they should have everybody olam haba. What is it so powerful that a Preda generation should have? What if chas v'shalom there's Chilel Shabbat, Michalel Shabbat? What if there's somebody ate in Passover, Chametz, or ate on Yom Kippur? They also have Cholek Olam haba. How's it possible? That means Rav Preda Torah was so spread that nobody did averot. Averot, which just means sins. That's why the Hashem said, that Rav Preda said that you're going to have Olam haba, my whole generation, the whole generation had Olam haba. Not only that, he says, I'm also adding to you 400 years more because you ask for Jewish people. Usually person asks for himself, as selfish individuals. But the tzaddikim is the opposite. אני מעדיף לזכות חיי עולם הבא, אני דרש שלי, אמר הקדוש ברוך הוא תון לזה לזה. הקדוש ברוך הוא is going to give you 400 years to Rav Pred more, and the whole generation should have עולם הבא. אף על פי גם על העניין תלמוד תורה, ואם חייך קודמים חיי חבריך. Same thing goes for the Talmud Torah. Your life becomes more important than anybody's. מכל מקום חייב להפריש מעשרות מן הזמן שלו ללמוד גם אחרים. What about the others? תלמיד חכם needs to teach others. We say this all the time. Anyways, אף מבטל קצת מלימודו. He says, anyways, 10% of your money, all of you gives maaser. Says 10% maaser, give from your time. This is your maaser to the what? To the Am Yisrael. You give maaser like this, people able to teach without no problem. Talmid Chacham able to teach to others. Halachically speaking, he doesn't have to. Doesn't have to teach others. But he says better to give maaser. What's a maaser? Take out of your time and teach to Klal, to Am Yisrael. Rabbeinu Tzadok alav b'kiddushin. Rabbeinu Tzadok, it says Masechet Kiddushin, page 40. גבורה, גיבורי כוח, עושה דבריו, כגון רבי צדוק, שתבוא מטרוניתא לדבר עבירה. Rav Tzadok was living in the second Bet HaMikdash. One of in the government, prime woman, she said she wanted to do sin with Rabbi Tzadok. ניצל ממנו, Rabbi Tzadok ran away from her. בגיטין אמרו, מסכת גיטין, in page 56, אמרו שרבי צדוק נתענה 40 שנה שלא תחרב ירושלים. Rav Tzadok used to fast 40 years so the Yerushalayim would not be destroyed. The Bet HaMikdash, 40 years. Not 40 days, not 4 years, 40 years. כבר אז ידעו שעתיד ירושלים לחרב. Already the prophet says, כמו שאמרו במסכת יומא. מסכת יומא, it says in page 39, Bet HaMikdash פתחה מעליהם. The doors of the Bet HaMikdash last 40 years will start opening and closing, opening and closing. Okay? Imagine somebody have a door and it's opening and closing. He's not going to sleep at night properly. And that happened for 40 years. On its own. Yeah, obviously. Ha'echal echal. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai says, Echal echal, door. Yadani shesofecha da'ated le'charev. He says, I know at the end the Bet HaMikdash is going to get destroyed. Shekvar nedba alecha Zachariah. Zachariah Navi already says, Zachariah 11:1. פתח לבונן דלתך ותאכל אש בעוזריך. Says the fire would consume the Bet HaMikdash. That's what it says. The fire would consume the Bet HaMikdash. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai says, Echal, what are you doing? Why are you doing? So Rabbi Tzadok was fasting for 40 years in order the Bet HaMikdash would not destroy. Why Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai says to the Echal, to the doors of the Bet HaMikdash, why are you bringing to yourself to this passage of to beget destruction? Says the Chazal says that we say all the time, why somebody in a great position always prosecute Jewish people? The Chazal says, somebody makes pain and suffering to Jewish people, the prophet says, they're always going to be on top. Okay? אמרו רבי יוחנן בן זכאי ביקש מהאספיאנוס שרופא שלו שירפא את רבי צדוק. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, like we know the story, Masechet Gittin, from 55b until 59, the story about the Bet HaMikdash. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai asking Aspianus, he says, please send your doctors to heal Rabbi Tzadok. Sheishalem rufalo ascharo. Not only that, he says, when you're going to send your doctors, Aspianus was the emperor. He became emperor when Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai met him. And he says, you dear emperor. And he says, I'm not. He says, right now the emperor in Rome died. You're going to be the next one. The message came in. And he says, he was by the lake washing himself. And when he wanted Aspianus Rasha, when he wants to put his foot back to the shoe, he cannot put it. It says in a pasuk, if somebody have a good news, his bones gets swallowed. He says, thinking about, he says, if I knew you were such a chachamim, why didn't you became why didn't you come to me before that the whole situation happened? So let's go forward. Rabbi Tzadok, Aspianos sending the Rofeh, the doctors to the Rabbi Tzadok, and they were paying the doctors. Okay? He paying doctors, so that doctor that healed Rabbi Tzadok should not have a share in the world to come. They didn't want to have any goy to have share in the world to come because of them. So Rabbi Tzadok says, we need to pay him in order for him not to come upstairs in the heavens, and he says, I healed Rabbi Tzadok. But you're going to say it's not fair. Let everybody have share in the world to come. He says a person should know what's the knowledge of the Torah. Rabbi Tzadok Omer, Al ta'aseh atara legadel bahem. A person should not do a crown for the Torah, should become so-called in a power, and he start controlling people, okay? Or to become one of the influencer, okay? Chayiti b'nedarim. In Masechet Nedarim, in page 62 says, La'ava et Hashem Elokecha lishmor b'koro le'dabka bo. In Masechet Nedarim says following, La'ava et Hashem, and we should love Hashem. Love Hashem. Elokecha, our God, lishmoa, to hear, in His voice, and cling to Him. Okay? Shelo amar adam ikre she'ikarenu chacham. A person should not learn Torah that they should everybody call him a rabbi, or chacham, or knowledgeable wisdom. Anshei she'ikareni rebbe, or they're going to call me a rabbi. Ashnei kedei she'ez zaken ve'yeshev be'yeshiva. Says the people would give me kavod that would sit in the front of the Bet Knesset, in the front of the yeshiva. He says a person should learn the Torah from the love, the kavod, which means the respect, the honor, will come after the person. A person should do everything for the sake of heavens. You should not, he says, for the sake of Hashem, not to make a crown for yourself that go everywhere, you're getting more payment. It's not like you take a shovel and you're shoveling the earth. What does it mean? Thank you. Bal Shitzar, he took the kelim, the vessels of Bet HaMikdash, and he started using it. The gold and the silver. Bal Shitzar HaRasha. She'asu kli chol. He did whatever kadosh, he made it impure. Shenemar Yechezkel 7:22 says in Yechezkel Hanavi, Bo ba'pritzim v'chalalu. Yechezkel says pagans were going to come and they're going to nullify the kedusha of the kelim Bet HaMikdash, the vessels, the pagans. Ne'ekar min ha'olam. He got uprooted from this world. Shenemar be'balila katil b'shitzar. In nighttime, Belshazzar got killed. The time that he used the vessels of Bet HaMikdash, the same day, he got killed. Mishtamesh b'katra shel Torah l'chad kama kama. If he used the goy, used the vessels of the Bet HaMikdash, he got died the same day. If somebody used the crown of the Torah, how much he's going to get punished? לכאורה קשה על כך לאמרו בלשאצר נעקר מעולם, מפני שתמש בלי קודש. נאמרו במגילה, אחשוורוש גם הציע בלי בית המקדש. אחשוורוש, מסכת מגילה says in page 11, also to take out the vessels of the בית המקדש, right? אחשוורוש לצא בית המקדש נשתמש בהם, and you use them. Why is it so important for them to use the vessels of the בית המקדש? Why? What they care? They own the whole world. Achashverosh owned 127 countries. Why they care about the vessels of Bet HaMikdash? You go to any jeweler, right? You have right now all this jewelry business, right? Floyd Mayweather, all these boxers, rappers, movie stars. They have so much gold, right? Imagine them, the Chas v'Shalom, using the kli, the vessel of Bet HaMikdash. They have everything. What do you need the vessels of Bet HaMikdash? To show the importance that they took over the Jewish people, and they know that they're kids of Hashem, that this is the vessels of Hashem. It's not enough to have their own vessels. They must use these vessels to show how important. There's people in China or Tokyo or Japan, billionaires, that buy these pictures. Or they buy these from the empress that 2,000 years, there's antique stuff, 30 million. There's a cup that's made from the earthenware. $35 million he bought, I think this Japanese guy, and he started drinking from it. $35 million is some king was used a couple hundred years ago, or 500-600 years ago, some pagan king used, he paid 35, that he says, I have this cup that I'm able to use it also. There's no other cups in the world? There is. But we see from here today also, people want to use something that nobody has. And what's the vessel of the Bet HaMikdash? Nobody has. Okay? ושם מגילה כלים וכלים שונים. מסכת מגילה says, Achashverosh had 180 days party. Each vessel was different from other. Imagine the richness and the power that he had. Each vessel was different. יצא בת קול ואמרה להם, ראשונים בשצה ורב, כלו מפני כלי אשר תשתמש. He says, the heavenly voice comes out, and it says, Belshazzar and all his crew got destroyed because they used the vessels of Bet HaMikdash. ואתם שונים בהם, and you're doing the same thing. קשה גם למה באמת לא נגזר על אחשוורוש לעקר מן העולם. He says, why the Achashverosh did not get killed like Belshazzar did? ראיתי גאון, מרש יפה, בספר יפה ענב, תראה צעך, מנה אלוקה מלכותך השלמה, שהשם יתברך מלכות בכל הסתיימה, כי נבוכדנצר מלך 100 שנה. He says, this is, Nebuchadnezzar was a king 45 years. והואיל Mordach was 23 years. Belshazzar 2. Belshazzar was 2 years only. Total 7 years. בסך הכל 70 שנה על מלכות בבל. 70 years, the Babel needs to exist. The king of the Babel. The kingship, the rulership, 70 years. So it says the Gzerah was Belshazzar, he needs to die in 2 years. He needs to only be reigned for 2 years. Gzara kach mi'et Hashem. The Gzerah was happening from the Hashem. ולא היה לה בלשצר חוטא בכלי קודש, היה יוריד בגדולתו נשאר בחיים. It says Belshazzar, if would not use the vessels of Bet HaMikdash, he would not die, he would live. But he would not be king no more. Because he used the vessel of the Bet HaMikdash, he got killed the same day. But if he wasn't using it, he would not be no more king, but he would live. מכיוון חטא בכלי קודש, because he made a sin, okay, the vessels of Bet HaMikdash. נהרג נקר מהעולם, nobody even number. My friend says, Nisim, he died like a dog. Okay? ושיא זה לומר כיוון בלשצר היה מוכן לאבד מלכותו שהסתיימה. He says, Belshazzar, that was so ignorant that he able to lose his power and rulership as a king just to use for the vessel of the Bet HaMikdash. Some of them knew that if they're going to use the vessels of Bet HaMikdash, they will be destroyed. But they still did it. Why? Because the gaiva is not given him to subdue. נפל תורה חדר סכינה, נהרג מה שאין כן אחשוורוש היה זה סיום שלטונו. Achashverosh did not die because that was not part of the Akadosh Baruch Hu plan to die right away. לא נענש רק מי שהתערבה שמחתה ונהרג ושתי. Says when Vashti, his wife Vashti, but did get killed. Okay? למרן חידה, ולא קרדום לחפור בהם. He says not a shower, a shovel that you able to dig. What does it mean? The Chazal says. דרשו חז"ל מסכת נדרים, page 37, עמוד א'. ראי למדתי אתכם חוקים ומשפטים כאשר ציווה השם אלוקי. He says, Hashem, look it, I teach you the laws, משפטים, כאשר ציווני השם אלוקי. That Hashem commanded me. מה אני בחינם? Hashem says, I teach Moshe Rabbeinu for free. So if I taught Moshe Rabbeinu for free, you all of you need to teach to other Jewish people for free. So why are we taking salary? Why are we taking money? Why the tutors take money? Right? That's the question. So it says, Hashem says, Afani bechinam, afatem bechinam. If the Torah was given for free, you should teach for free also. So we have a rebuttal. So all the yeshivot is supposed to be for free. They will live. They will have a bitachon, like we use it many times. They will have a bitachon. They will have the money flying from the heavens. Look what it says. Let's learn in this pasuk. Psak Rambam, Alachot, Talmud Torah, Perek Aleph, Alacha Zayin. Rambam says following in the Talmud Torah, Torah shebal peh asur lilmod baschar. Oral Torah, you're not allowed to take reward for it, which just means payment. Shenemar rei lamati etchem, like the pasuk the Rambam brings, pasuk from Masech Nadarim, page 37. You should teach them for free. Okay? Which Torah? Oral Torah. What Torah are we learning right now? This oral Torah. Ani b'chinam lemati. Hashem says, I'm teaching to Jewish people, I give the Torah for free. Af atem lemati b'chinam. And you should teach others also for free. Ken Talmud ledorot lamdu etchem b'chinam. And you should continue learning the Talmud for free to others. כמו למדתי ממני, ואם לא מצא למד אותי בחינם, ילמד בשכר. What if a person not finds a person that teach somebody for free? It says, you're not finding somebody for free, you must pay money. שנאמר אמת קנה. Chazal says you should buy the truth. How can you buy the truth? That means we need to bribe. No. Buy the truth, pay somebody to teach your Torah. This is called buy the truth. יכול ללמוד אחרים בשכר, תלמוד לומר ואל תמכור. Says to teach to others, he says do not sell. ולמדת שאף על פי לימדו רבו בשכר, אסור ללמוד בשכר. מסכת בכורות in page 29 says, the oral Torah, you're not allowed, but if you have no other teacher, or the teacher is much greater than other teachers, you must teach, must, like a person goes to college, Elif Avdalot, right? He's getting profession. Same thing is getting the future generation for Am Yisrael. Lilmodo b'schar. Hillel HaZaken, Masechet Yomayim, page 35 says, Hillel HaZaken, every day he made 2 pennies. 1 penny is for his learning, 1 penny for his family. 1 penny for his learning, which is, what does it mean? They used to have a security guard by the Bet HaMidrash. Right now we don't have Baruch Hashem security guard, only for sakana, because it's danger. But the people could walk in. Used to pay every day to learn Torah. What Hashem rewarded? Hillel HaZaken, I think, says, Kol mikayim Torah me'oni. Somebody learned the Torah from the poor, poverty. Sofo mikayim me'osher. When a person is at the end, he's going to learn with the richness. What does it mean, that Pirkei Avot, that it says about somebody learning from the poverty? A person says, I'm going to make $1 million or $2 million or $3 million. I'm going to come and I'm going to do it all day. Chazal says, if he's not going to do it while he's poverty, he's never going to do it while he's rich. Because when a person is rich, he's thinking how to make his money to be progress more and more. כך היה הלל אומר, השתמש בתגה חלב. Hillel HaZaken says that השתמש, if somebody learns, somebody uses the crown of the Torah. כאן משמעות דברי הלל, משתמש ונהם מכתרה של התורה. He's enjoying from the crown of the Torah. נאבד מן העולם, he be destroyed from this world, חס ושלום. אבל באבות רבי נתן says, השתמש בתגה חלב, כיצד שכל המשתמש בשם מפורש, אין לו חלק לעולם הבא. Chazal says somebody using Shem HaMefurash, which just means Shem Hashem name, okay? He says, the Gemara says, he has no חלק לעולם הבא. That's what he says over here, וכך היה הלל אומר. Hillel says somebody using Shem Hashem name, he has no share in the world to come. What does it mean? What kind of Shem Hashem we talk about? Okay, you all want to use it. What do you want to use for? So that we're going to learn what would the Chazal use for? What was the purpose? Rama says following, Shulchan Aruch Yored Daya in Siman 246, Sof Siv Chaf Aleph, Alacha, which is Siman 246, Alacha 21. Bashar Ruach HaKodesh lemarchu. Rav Rabbeinu Moreno Ateru Roshenu Rav Chaim Vital says in Bashar Ruach HaKodesh following. כתב, רבנו מרחו, רב חיים ויטל, asking ארי הקדוש. שאלתי מורנו על עניין להשתמש בקבלה מעשית על פי שמות הקודש. He says, רבנו חיים ויטל, he says, what are you thinking about using the Kabbalah Maise? Maise, which just means the actual deed. Rabbi, remember me and you learn Sefer Yetzirah, like it says in the Talmud, in many places, Masech Shabbat, Masech Eruvin. It says many places, the Chachamim, Erev Shabbat, they used to learn the Sefer Yetzirah, the book of creation. They used to make a bakar, a cow, and they used to slaughter for Lichvot Shabbat Kodesh. Of course, they slaughter before Shabbat. Okay? So this is called Kabbalah Maaseh. Maaseh, which just means deed, right? You could do many, many things. So Rabbi Chaim Vitao is asking, Arizal. And we, all the time when we learn Kabbalah, that means right away we need to use the Shemot HaKodesh. Okay? Arizal has whole Shemot HaKodesh, in Sharuach HaKodesh, in many places. Halacha L'Maaseh. I have a book actually. It's how to do it even. So he's asking, Nesra b'chol sefrei mekubalim achronim. He says, all the Kabbalists are forbidden to use the Hashem's name in certain places. Nesar b'chol sefrei. Ken ech Rabbeinu Ishmael ben Elisha Kohen Gadol Rabbi Akiva ishtamesh b'shemot noraim. Says, how is it possible Rabbi Ishmael ben Elisha Kohen Gadol, Rabbi Akiva, many Tanaim used to use Hashem name. Like Eliezer used Shema Mifurash to Kfitzat Aderech. Eliezer got there within couple hours. You're supposed to get 3 days. This is called Shema Mifurash. Abu Chatzira family used many times. Shema Mifurash coming from Morocco and flying in a carpet that you see that sometimes Elif Avdalot Aladdin movie. That's come from there, but they mixed it. Came with the carpet to the Eretz Israel from Morocco. Yeah. No, not our time. We're talking about the generation when they came. Yeah.
The whole family.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you come with the scooter to the Bet Knesset, the same thing. They use Shema Mefurash, they're coming. Okay. Let's see. Baba Sali used to stop when he came from the Morocco. He came to Eretz Israel. Okay. And he stepped on a bus, Haifa, port of Haifa, if I'm not mistaken. He stepped on a bus. Time came for Mincha.
What?
Time came for Mincha. He came to the Arab guy, the driver, he says, please, I need to daven Mincha. He says, over here, nobody davens, nothing. We're just traveling. Okay, so he says, stop for me. He says, I could stop for you, but I'm not waiting. He says, it's okay. When Baba Sali daven, the bus cannot move. Baba Sali comes in, he says, where's the bus? Where's another stop where I could bus stop? He says, over there. The bus never moved.
Why? They're frozen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Prayed alone with me, yeah.
No, alone. Because he needs to daven right now. This is the time. It's in a derech. It's in a way. Okay? He could have made 1,000 excuses, Baba Sali, to daven with the minyan, daven later on 2 times. He come from the path of the Morocco. It's hard. When the people want to cling to Hashem, no matter what, they're going to cling anywhere and everywhere. Any situation. It happened many times with Baba Sali when he used to travel. The gas used to be, his Gabbai used to say, gas used to be empty. And they used to drive in an empty tank. Okay? You see, you have another Baba Sali over here, Rabbi Kleiman in the Forest Hills. Okay? You understand? So let's go forward. I used to have a Chevy Tahoe, the fuel used to break. So every time I used to press the gas, it used to go up. Everywhere I used to make, you would never know how much gas you have inside the tank. Okay? So he says, Marchu is asking Arizal, Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Ishmael Kohen Gadol, Rabbi Elisha, Rabbi Ishmael ben Elisha, use the Shem Mefurash. Shtamesh b'shemot naraim, לעניין זכירה, Pitchat Alev. Not only that they use for memory. In Arizal Sharuach HaKodesh have a memory. In Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur you have in an ayeh, long ayeh, that in that ayeh Mekom Kavodo, over there you have for the Zechirah, for remembrancy. Okay? And to open the heart for the Torah. That's what they use for. Okay? So we want to use for something else, right? We want to use, first thing we want to use for Rufuah. Second thing we want to use for Parnasa. Third thing is Shidduchim. Okay, many things. Okay, but what's the purpose of their using it? Remember Torah and open the heart for the Torah. Okay, the Arizal has.
Hashem forgives them?
Let's see. There's Perek de Echalot, which is Parashat Pikudei in Zohar, page 248, if I'm not mistaken. Echalot, which just means the windows in the Shammai. V'ashiv li ki bazmanam ze efer para matzui. He says the reason they use what they use, because the ashes of the para of the ma, red calf, exist. They're able to purify themselves from all the tumah, for all the impurity. L'rabot tumat amet, including that somebody impure to the med, which means a person went to the hospital, even he never buried his parents, chas v'shalom. He went to a hospital, you still have a corpse, that's it, it's a ohel, it's a tent, that's it becomes tameh, becomes impure.
When you're born, you're already tameh.
No, but in the time of Beit HaMikdash, Masech Sukkah in page 21, it says that they used to go on top of the rocks, and they used to make a tefach, which means one fist, and they used to build houses with the wood. Once you build a tefach, which means a fist, the dead, the tameh med, it's in the mountains. There's nobody could bury because it's everything rocks. They even had a chashash, which means still, still thinking that is because from the Mabul, all the bones went all over the world. They still have a tumah. Even it says Eretz Israel did not. Masech Ta'anit says Eretz Israel was not part of the tumah. So it says that they used to go all the Kohanim women, they used to give, and they used to go give a birth over there on top of the mountain. And until 6-7 years old, they used to not become a tameh. Okay, they used to have a midwives over there, where the woman was living there on a mountain, on a rock, so people could not dig a. Even let's say 1,000 years ago, 2,000, right? Somebody maybe dig a grave. You can, because it's in a mountain and it's a rocks. It's impossible. Usually people would do it somewhere soft. Even there, they had a chashash. They were so careful in the time of the Beit HaMikdash, and that's the way they used to give a birth to the kids. Okay, like you said it back then, is different. Okay. Because you have a tameh med, because you have an impurity. Even they had a para aduma. Ashes of the golden calf, they still would do like these precautions.
How many cows did they have? How many parah did they have?
It doesn't make a difference. But the precautions you talk about. Even with the precautions, the para aduma, okay? L'rabot tumat med. So it says, Chazal says, tumat med, which just means, that's what happened in the time. They had a para aduma. That's why they're able to use on themselves. And that's why they're able to open, to understand the information, the mass information that they had, that nobody have. Aval anachnu kulam timim mitim. Arizal says everybody tameh met. Everybody is impure. Ve'en lanu efer para tamah mitameh. We don't have the ashes of the para aduma, or the golden calf. Okay? Oh, I'm sorry, of the
red calf.
The red calf, right. En toelet b'man yitaher mishar hatumot. He has no remedy to it. He's still tameh. Adayin tumat meidba kamo momedet. He's still impure. Even if you use the Shemot HaKodesh, he used the holy names. Lachen en lo reshut lishtamesh bazman hazeh b'Shemot HaKodesh. Arizal says he has no reshut, which means he has no permission to use the holy names. Mishtamesh bahem onesh gadol. Somebody is using in these names. What's the punishment, rabbis? Gam en la'adam mishtamesh b'pardes ramah shelo avar al shum ta'aseh. He says, even though to enter the pardes, the orchids of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he says, if he did not never desecrated lo ta'aseh in his life, who could guarantee himself he never desecrated lo ta'aseh in his life? One mitzvah is lo taturu achrei revchem v'achrei nechem. Achrei nechem, you should not go. A person already says, if a person lo ta'aseh, he did not never desecrate it, then he could use it. Stipler, Kadosh, Stipler, Rav Israel Yaakov Kanevsky, Stipler, he says, in my life, I never did a sin, even shogeg, even unintentionally. That's what I heard from Rav Tzadka. Me'id, which is his witness through himself, that even unintentionally he never did a sin. Unintentional.
So he can do it and still get pardes.
Right.
But because of tumat med.
No. Tumat med is something else. But he says, if he lo ta'aseh, במצאנו כתוב בהיות רבי נחוניה מתבודד וצופים בפרדס, נגע בו רבי ישמעאל, רבי עקיבא בחלוקה של האישה שהייתה. So Rabbi Nechunia, he was going to the Pardes, okay? Rabbi Ishmael, Rabbi Akiva was b'chalukah shel ha'isha, so they put a tumah next to them, okay? Tumah. And what's the tumah is? V'teker pitrato lifnei kiseh. Before they even entered the kiseh hakavod, should go in a higher world, they would come right away to this world because the tumah touched them. Rabbi Ishmael and Rabbi Akiva.
Why did they do that to them?
So they would not depart from this world. Once the tumah, bring them back. Right. Okay?
They had Paraduma in his time, Rabbi Akiva's time?
Yeah. Rabbi Ishmael, Rabbi Akiva, yes. Look what it says. מרן חיסה בספר קדמות, כתב אפר פטרה דומה הלה לאמוראים. חידה מרן Rabbi Chaim Yosef David Azulai says, Amoraim had a para duma. Amoraim, which is the last generation of the Tanaim. After Tanaim comes in Amoraim. Masei Chagiga, Baraita Mikan Bagalil, Vani Ba'iniuti Pashiti, Rabbeinu Arizal Taher Be'efer para dura le'ede Eliyahu Zachul Letov. He says, Arizal did not reveal, but I'm pretty sure he says, because of his anava, of his humble. He says, Arizal was purifying himself to the para duma. He says, Eliyahu Hanavi came to him and gave it to him, and he purified. That's why he had the information. Even the Tanaim, Amoraim, Nevi'im, where prophets did not have.
That's exactly why, because they say, if you remove Tumat Met, your system is fully open.
Right. That's why I had a system, like my dear student says, the system was open. The pipes are open. The rabbi was very concealed with that. To some, the Eliyahu Hanavi came in and purified him. Lerov anvanoto, he was very humble. Even the prophets did not want to use the holy names. Eliyahu Hanavi was hiding himself from the Elizabeth for 40 days. Eliyahu Hanavi also was traveling for 40 days. He did not use the holy names in order for him to get there instead of for 40 days within 4 minutes. בשמות, אפילו להציל נפשות מאיתה לא ארחיב עוז להשתמש בשמות. Even to make somebody revive and to bring back to life, they did not use holy names. שאם כן לא יבצר מירמיהו נביא לומר שהם כשהלכו אל הבור. Yirmiyah Navi also knew that, but when they threw him in a pit, he still got put in a pit. Okay? כמה נביאים קדושים עמוד לא רצו למלא את נפשם ממוות על ידי להשתמש. Even they were dead, almost to death, coming to death, like Yirmiyah or Zachariah, they would still not use the holy names. אף על פי ישעיהו נביא עשה כן. ישעיהו נביא did to the Shem HaMefurash when Menashe came in and wanted to kill him, he went inside the tree. Yeah, because one thing he says, not from the prophecy, he says, I'm in a nation that everybody is speaking Lashon Hara. He says that's why he got killed, because that was a prophecy. That was a prophecy, not from Hashem. That was a prophecy, his personal opinion, and because of personal opinion, such a great Isaiah, he got punished.
Yeshayahu got punished?
Yeah, he got killed by Menashe.
Menashe killed Yeshayahu.
Yeah, his own grandfather. That's his grandfather. Yeah. Wild, like in your world, what do you say this? Okay. Bayad mivakesh nafsho, chen amru chachamim. That's why the chachamim says in Yoredeya, in Shulchan Aruch in Siman 179. V'chen chatam sofer, and Rama, Yoredeya in 179, Siman, Siv 16. Katav sheesh matirim lashbiya shedim al yedei shemot. The Rama says over there, I need to double check, but he says that's what it brings the Rama. You're allowed to make lashbiya shedim. Make the shedim to serve you. Al gniva, somebody stole somebody stole from somebody killed, you're allowed to use the shedim.
So you could send him after?
Yeah. Mikol makov rov oskim bazeh eno niftarim mehem bashalom. Says whoever deals with it, they would not die with a peace. That's why he says, stay away from it.
Come back for the revenge.
Stay. Thank you very much. That's why Rav Yehuda Pitaya had a hard death.
Yes.
Many Kabbalists, ask this here. Many Kabbalists that use Shemot HaKodesh, it's not pleasant death that they die.
But what about Shlomo
something else. ועוד אמרו שער רוח הקודש, ועוד תשיב מוריזו, כי השמות הקמאים נמצאים עתה, says, Arizal is, Rav Chaim Vital is asking Arizal, what about using all the Shemot HaKodesh? Is it allowed? He says, I open a lot of them, they're all mistake. The biggest one, Kabbalists even made mistakes. Says, don't use it. But they say the Rav Yitzchak Kaduri, Rav Chacham Avadia Yosef, give him askama. Rav Yitzchak Kaduri has if somebody goes to Rav Yitzchak Kaduri grave, or he has I think Ohel Yitzchak, he has a yeshiva. I have the book, actually my mother bought it. Okay, and in the back, his son writes the Kameah. Rav Yitzchak Kaduri also wrote the Kameah, and Rav Avadia approves it, and he says, following, the reason I'm allowed to write, not allowed, Rav Yitzchak Kaduri write it so they would not go to the Goyim, they will come to the Jewish and do it through the Kedusha, not through the Tumah. To the Kameah. Right. But over there, Rav Yitzchak Kaduri, of course, is the greatest Kabbalist. He would know what he's doing. Okay. Kameah, no, there's a, pendant, right. שהקדוש ברוך הוא תן לנו ברכה, הצלחה, בריאות, הרבה דסייעתא דשמיא, וכן יהי רצון ונאמר אמן.